Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Salutations to salutations to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule as well as the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright, I'm gonna title this video Esau Fatigue is Real. You know, and what inspired me to do this video, you know, through the power of through this basically the spirit uses this video to inspire me to do a video on it. But Salakia. This video says the evidence proves Esau is guilty of far more than blood / quote unquote white fatigue, you know, because Esau on the social media networks be talking about quote unquote black fatigue, you know. And they brought up this incident where basically a bunch of our people got into a fight with each other, man. Basically is what it was. And they said and they want to talk about black fatigue or whatever. But hey, what about so-called white fatigue, you know? There's a reason. There's reason to have so-called white fatigue. You know, it's basically all these crimes. He brings up this dude, which he looks so-called white. He brings up all the crimes that these so-called white people did. You know, then you gotta take that and you look at the so-called like what they did to our and continue to do to our people and to the world, to the planet. Basically, what they destroy the earth, right? You know what they continue to do through their geoengineering and you know even the chemicals they put in shit, you know, ends up polluting the planet and shit like that. You know, different ways that's not even, some ways that are known and some ways that are not even known. You know, and basically there's a reason to have so-called white fatigue or Esau fatigue, man. There's a reason to have it, you know. It's, hey, Esau fatigue is real. But basically yeah, that's what the video is called. The evidence proves Esau is guilty of far more than blood / white fatigue. But basically, I'm gonna bring out some scriptures on this, you know, because Esau fatigue is real, man, and it's scriptural. Let me get because basically, hey, the wicked, hey, when the wicked rule, the people mourn, man. When the wicked rule, the wicked is ruling right now. And let me get that first. When the wicked beareth rule, I believe that's how it go. When the wicked beareth rule, Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You know? And the wicked, of course, you know, you go to Malachi 1 and 4, really, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Most High Power, Yahweh of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, hath indignation forever, man. Hey, the Most High Power Yahweh, he created these devils, and he has Esau fatigue, you know. He has Esau fatigue. Been had Esau fatigue, you know. So do the elect, and even the rest of creation. They just don't know it's Esau, you know. They just don't know it's Esau that they have fatigue towards, you know. But yeah, Esau fatigue is real, man. And the Most High Power Yahweh has been had it, you know. Malachi 1:3, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So he's been had this fatigue towards Esau Edom. In fact, the Most High Power Yahweh never loved Esau Edom, you know, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And so that's the wicked, and the wicked are ruling right now, of course, according to Scripture. I mean, according to Scripture, but according to prophecy. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? You know, so according to biblical prophecy, you know, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and we're in these last days in the fourth kingdom. Fourth kingdom is what? The Roman Empire, and this is revived Rome. You know, Roman Empire, the Roman Empire, basically that's the empire of the Edomites, man. Esau brought back the Roman Empire, basically. So what happened? And this is just Rome, just with under a different name, and with different with better technology, basically. You know, but it's Rome. But hey, Esau Edom, you know, he's the one that's ruling according to prophecy. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, chapter 6, verses 7 on down to 9. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? You know, between basically this current earth age, basically the times we're living in right now, the times of the Gentiles, and when our people are going to rule. Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that also shows us that Esau is going to rule that Esau is prophesied to rule at the end, you know. And the Edomites are ruling, you know. That's clearly the Edomites. They're the so-called white people, man, and the small hats. You know, the people claiming to be the people claiming to be the people, but they're not, man. You know, the Revelation 2:9ers, man. The Zechariah 9:6ers, man. A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, man. And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Zechariah 9:6. You know. And what is a bastard? A bastard is illegit. Basically, a bastard is illegitimate child, which basically they not supposed to. They claiming to be the people, but they not the people. You know. That's how that goes into that. And also, when you look at, I gotta bring this out. When you look at Amalek, specifically, which Amalekites are Edomites, and those are the people claiming to be to be the people, man, in our land, man. And basically, the whole, as I was going into before, the whole root of the conflict between Amalek and the other Edomites is basically, it goes back to this, because I'm going to read it, Genesis 36 and 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. So the other ones, they're directly the sons of that Eliphaz had with Ada, but Amalek was born to a concubine, which is a lesser wife. So in that way, they also see him as that, as an illegitimate child. But yeah, their Amalek is the chief. Basically, they're the first of the nations, man. Hold on. Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but the latter end shall be that he perish forever, man. Amalek is the first of the nations, but his latter end is going to be that he perish forever. But yeah, man, the first of the nations, the chief house, which is what synagogue means, in reference to Revelation 2-9. Hey, they're basically, those are the so-called white people, because they are so-called white people. But those are the so-called white people that actually run the show, pretty much. But they are so-called white people. The small hats, they go back to the Khazars. Go back to them, right? And the Khazars are considered to be a Turkic people, right? And Turkic people are Caucasian. So, and Caucasian is so-called white people. So, the small hats are so-called white people. But they just, they're they're the descendants of that son of the concubine, Amalek. But this is one of the meanings. One of the meanings of Revelation 2-9 is it's talking about the those imposters, man. That's one of the meanings. Another meaning is basically talking about wicked jakes, but we talking about this meaning right now when it's talking about the imposters in our land, man. Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. But hey, the Most High Yahweh is not only Amalek, his latter end is that he perished forever, but it's not just Amalek that's gonna get it, man. Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. And the house of Jacob is obviously talking about Judah. And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High Power Yahweh has spoken it. So basically, Esau, the whole house of Esau, the Most High Yahweh is gonna do away with them. As a nation, they won't exist as a nation anymore. And this is punishment for what these Edomites have been doing to our people, man. Obadiah 1:13. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. They repeatedly did this. But they were set up to do this as the sword of the Most High Power Yahweh. So these Edomites, basically, they were created to basically be the wicked upon earth, man. They were created to be that, and to play basically to live their lot. You know, they was created to do that and to be the wicked upon earth. Let me get that, in fact. Even the wicked for the day of evil. Proverbs 16:4. The Most High Power Yahweh hath made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. You know? So the Most High Yahweh created these devils to do what they did. They're doing. Make no mistake about it. Why? As a punishment for our people, man. For going off repeatedly. But you know, the Most High Yahweh at the same time has never loved these devils, man. But our people sometimes think that the Most High Yahweh is on the side of these devils because they got the rulership right now, you know. Wherein hast thou loved us, you know, right? Reference to Malachi 1 and 2. I have loved you, saith the Most High Power Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Most High Power Yahweh, yet I love Jacob? Which is why they think the Bible was written by so-called white folks, was written by Esau, and why they think that the Most High Power Yahweh, which they ignorantly call him God, you know, just that by that title, not by his name, and they think he's a so-called white man. They actually believe that because that's why a lot of the 2/3 actually believe that, because you know, Esau is bearing rulership right now, but these devils is about to fall, man. And they was basically given that lot to rule at the end, but they're about to fall, man. Hey, the Most High Yahweh, you know, he's fair. He even gave the wicked, the nation of the wicked themselves, the opportunity to rule the world, and, you know, of course, rule over us, you know. But it was also punishment for what we did, you know. Which this is all basically, when you look at the whole scheme of things, basically it's like a underdog, like basically like a underdog story, you know. Jacob is the underdog, and it details in Romans, the book of Romans, you know. Basically, our people is supposed to win at the end, you know. You know. Romans 9, it's in Romans 9, verse 22. What if the Most High Power Yahweh, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, which is talking about Esau, verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he hath before prepared unto glory. You know, because Edom. Oh, the Apostle Paul also compares these Edomites to Pharaoh, man. Romans 9:17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even with the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Because our people was subject to vanity, man. You know, so that biblical prophecy can basically play out, man. But hey, basically the righteous, which is Jacob, gonna win in the end, you know. So Romans 8:19, for the earnest expectation, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High Power Yahweh. Yeah, everybody tired of this devil, this bullshit. Everybody, basically, deep down, they waiting for the righteous to basically to be in power, man. Because when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. You know, they deep down, subconsciously, they waiting for that. Verse, even the animals, man. I'm going to read on down. Verse 20, for the creature was made subject to vanity. And the creature is talking about, you know, basically us, you know, was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who is subjected the same in hope. Verse 21, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High Power Yahweh, which is talking about the Israelites. Because, let me get that. It's talking about us. Let me get that real quick. Psalms 82:6, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High Power Yahweh. You know? So really, you know, our rightful position is to actually be in rulership. But let me get also John 10:34. Yahushua answered them and said, is it not written in your law? I said, ye are gods. You know, he references Psalms 82:6. You know? So that's a precept to that. But basically Romans 8 and going on down. I was Romans 8:22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. You know, the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Why? Because Israelites are down and out. The wicked is ruling. Even during his time, you had the Roman Empire, which was being ruled by Edomites. So the wicked was ruling then too. But during this rulership is when they have the most power. But because they're basically ruling over the whole world, man. Pretty much. From their power seats in America, Europe, and the so-called state of Israel, they ruling the whole world, man. But that brings me back to my point in Isaiah chapter 14. It's like, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 4. Hey, Esau fatigue is real, man. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High Power Yahweh shall give them rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. Verse 5, The Most High Power Yahweh, well, my bad. The Most High Power Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger and was persecuted and none hindered. And we're going to be seeing this when we take these devils down, and they're going to be our slaves. Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in the scene. Verse 8. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellers come up against us. And that's also symbolic as well, but it's literal too. You know, it's both. Because it also symbolizes the other nations too. Because this devil, basically, he smote the people. He has smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. You know, ruled the nations in anger. So that's fatigue. You know, they're breathing. When this devil goes down, even the trees, as well as the other nations that they symbolize, is gonna breathe a sigh of relief. Basically, as that rest and is quiet, they break forth in the singing. Verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even the chief ones of the earth had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we, art thou become like unto us? So when this devil, really, this is going to be fulfilled when this devil is in slavery. You know? Basically not ruling over us and the other nations, but at the very bottom, man. Art thou also become weak unto us? Art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? You know? But yeah, hey, Edomite fatigue is real, man. Esau fatigue is real. You know? For all the crimes that these Edomites have committed, you know? Against not only, well, against us, you know, of course, you know, against even the other nations, and against even their own people. Even some of their own people are sick of them, even though you also have Israelite foreigners scattered among these Edomites that look like Edomites, but they're not at the same time. You know, we gotta keep that in mind. But hey, you know, also even Esau is tired of Esau, you know. Hey, Edomite fatigue is real. But with that, I hope this video was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to, well, I can't do that, I'm not a part of GMS. But salutations to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well. And to the Akim out there, spread this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and all sincerity, both on the highways and byways themselves and on these online highways and byways. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Abad Babal, dead to Babylon. Abad La Adawamium, dead to these Edomites. Abad La Gawayim, dead to these other nations. Abad La Yabyam Nawa, dead to our enemies. And Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai is going to bring it. And he's actually going to bring it sooner than when we believe. You know, Shalom, stay strong. Abad Babal, Wa Yashar Allah forever. You know, Israelites got next. Israelites got next forever. Shalom, stay strong. We're almost out of here. Hey, Edomite fatigue is real. Shalom.